been a while. It's Scotty here from Bees Beat, and yeah, it's been a while, as I've said. Welcome back. Hopefully, we get some people to tune in today and share their thoughts. We're about to kick off here. They are honoring a moment of silence for the Duke of Edinburgh, who passed away along with DMX yesterday. And now the players are taking their training tops off and headed to the sidelines. We're about to get underway here in just a few seconds. Again, please do let me know where you're tuning in from and who you support. Maybe some match predictions. I'll rattle off the lineups. But I just want to check my sound first for a second here, so bear with me. Let's see here. And the match has kicked off. I will also get my timer here ready to go. Villa in the white gets us kicked off. And yeah, I'll certainly be looking for the Reds to put in a good performance after a very sloppy one against Real Madrid in the week. It was an unfortunate performance with some mental mistakes. The first goal from Nat Phillips, a mistake from Nat Phillips, I should say, and the second, a brutal one from Trent, which he caught a lot of heat during the week in the media. But yeah, I've been semi-joking, not really. I wish I was joking that with my friends during the week that watching Liverpool this season has been much like watching Manchester United in the past 2 to 3 seasons, just being consistently inconsistent. Yeah, the only thing reliable about them is that you know that they're going to offer up a stinker about every third game, and we just can't really get on a roll. We're going to need to get on a roll if we want to get top 4, which I still believe in. I still think that that's a strong possibility. I think the league overall is rather weak. Not to say that we don't have competition for those. I mean, a lot of people consider us outsiders looking in on the top 4, but certainly that'll be massively important in terms of money and attracting players. Villa had a free kick given in the right of the 18, sort of like a shorter corner after a foul from, I think it was Kavak, and they crossed it in and cleared away by Liverpool. Firmino on the ball, Liverpool taking a short goal kick, and a lot of pressure from Villa, very high up the field. But speaking of, well, let me rattle off the lineups for all of you in case you haven't seen. We have Allison in goal, Trent, Nat, Ozan, Andy Robbo, Fabinho, Milner, Wijnaldum, Jota, and Firmino and Salah up top. So a pretty familiar tactical structure as we have most often played over the course of the last 3 years. But yeah, I'm very interested. I didn't get a chance, forgive me, to do a whole lot of research before the game, but Curtis Jones, who I sort of expected to start today, is not even in the squad, and he wasn't listed in the injury section on the app that I checked, FOTMob. So that was pretty peculiar because, again, I think that He's been great this season. Here's Trent on the right-hand side playing a cross in, and it is blocked by whoever that is on the left-hand side, out for a corner kick. So a little opportunity here for Liverpool within 4 minutes to hopefully get a shot on goal, which unfortunately this season we have gone halves and even games at times without a shot on goal. So and it's taken very short and deep to Milner. And not quite the opportunity, but there's a shot on goal from Mo Salah. I'll take that. A little glimpse of hope there. Nice. I mean, one of the, I think, low-key signings of the season could be Villa's goalkeeper. I think his name is Emiliano Martinez. He was a backup for Arsenal last season and really impressed. And sometimes you almost get into, that must be a handball. Jota was kind of drifting around the box from central to the left-hand side, kind of being marshaled by a defender, good defending, and he goes to chip the ball back towards the middle, and it was a very short distance, and I honestly don't think that the defender could have done much to get his hand out of the way, but with how strictly they're calling handballs this season, I think that was definitely an interference of the play with that handball from the Villa defender, but the ref pretty succinctly waved it away rather quickly, so he was not interested, as they say. But anyway, definitely good to have Firmino back in midfield. I was talking about the Villa goalkeeper. I was going to say, at times, who is that Green Bay Packers quarterback that filled in for Aaron Rodgers? Like, this is probably 10 years ago now. Matt Mills or something like that. And then I feel like the Raiders gave him like a big contract just based off of, there it is again. Jota chipping it back towards the middle, and it hits Ollie Watkins' hand. And his hand was sort of in this position. It wasn't necessarily tight to his body. It was somewhat of a natural position, but also away from his body. Yeah, I mean, in the interest of not obsessing over handball/VAR decisions, which this wasn't a VAR decision, but could have been, we can just move on. There's another 85 minutes left in this game, and Liverpool, if we play our best, we should be beating a team like Villa. We should be beating a team like anybody, but obviously it's been a very difficult season for the Reds. But as I was saying, here's a beautiful ball by Firmino into Jota, who's playing on Sadio Mane's left-hand side. And Jota's been frustrated in these first 7 minutes. Just frustrated, not in underperforming sense, but he had a little tassel there with John McGinn, and the ball went out for a goal kick. I think he felt a bit impeded. So, but Jota's been lively, as he has been really all season when fit. So we'll certainly be looking to utilize him with the front three basically all season, not exactly firing on all cylinders. But anyway, looks like we have a counter of 2 people watching along. So do let me know who you are and where you're watching from. Any questions or comments, really any sort of input is certainly welcome. Again, for those who haven't joined me before, my name is Scott. I'm coming to you live from Monmouth County, New Jersey. I have a website where I write some columns. I need to kind of get back to really all things Beaty's Beat, which is the name of my brand, which includes, writing articles, sort of freelance, as well as these watch-alongs. And yeah, the point of these watch-alongs, I got involved in it because I just kind of grew tired of the NBC coverage I think that there is a dearth in quality in terms of commentary as well as punditry. Oh, and here's Bobby Firmino, cute little turn to give him a couple inches of space on the top of the box, but he gets swarmed pretty soon thereafter. But for a little while, it looked like he had some space to open up and take a shot on goal. But Nakamba, I think his name is, for the Villa team, got a little toe poke in, and his goalkeeper was able to retrieve. But anyway, as I was saying, I got involved with this channel because, felt like there could be some entertainment value in a Liverpool fan watching these games and celebrating or bemoaning refereeing calls or goals or poor play, any of that. So I hope you'll agree and get involved. I have to say, the Redmen TV, Paul Machin and Chris Pajak have been sort of idols of mine in this field. Obviously, they're extremely successful and showing up on Sky Sports and stuff like that. But all through COVID, they've been doing watch-alongs, which when I'm not doing this, I watch them because I enjoy their entertaining coverage, their humor, optimistic outlook, and I'll try to emulate any of that. But yeah, I mean, it's really not like a play-by-play sort of situation, although I will get into that. But the more interaction I get from you, the better. So yeah, I'd be curious to see what people think about Ozan Kabak. Again, with me, as I just said, I tend to be on the optimistic side of things. I'm always, a back Jurgen type of guy, regardless of anything that seems to be going on. I think he's the best coach in the world. And so anyway, I'm definitely like a stay the course guy, and let's wait and see. With that said, long ball in by Villa, and looked like Watkins could have been through, but Allison, being the adventurous keeper that he is, comes out and collects with somewhat relative ease. And here comes Liverpool. Mo Salah on the right wing. Beautiful little outside of the left foot ball in. Very dangerous. The keeper was coming forward on the top of the sixth. And Tyrone Mings with his front to his own goal. Clears it away. And so here comes another Liverpool corner. 11 minutes in. Not too much craziness to report. But Mo Salah with a shot on goal about 5 minutes ago. And here comes the service, and it's away by Matty Cash. Falls to Milner, who plays it back out to Trent. Nobody around him. Can't trap a simple ball, and it goes out for a goal kick. It's been frustrating to watch, on a multitude of levels for a multitude of reasons. Obviously with injuries and just poor form and this and that. COVID, I think, really taking a lot out of the players, not just for Liverpool, but every team. And I think the quality of the product is really suffering. But that is sort of more of a broad perspective on things as it relates to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Misplacement from Tyrone Mings, and it falls to Mo Salah, who should have buried his chance one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And he did have the keeper came out and took up a lot of the space to aim for on goal. And Salah just tries to do one of these and sneak it around Martinez, but he beat the keeper, but he also beat the goal as it just drifts about a foot or two wide of the left-hand post. But I like it. I like these chances that we're creating. That is very much I'm going to butcher the quote, but Klopp's saying the best number 10 is the gegenpress, meaning the system. You're going to create a boatload of chances. If you can press super well and high up the pitch and win it there, then you don't give the other team a chance to get back in transition. So you're going to have very fortuitous opportunities resulting from that. A bouncing ball back to Allison, who chests it and plays it out to Nat Phillips. So yeah, I mean, I'd just like to share my opinion on the center backs. Broadly speaking, I'm just glad that any two center backs have been healthy enough and reliable enough to play together. The consistency in our starting players has really not been there kind of all season from front to back. But, oh, here comes Bobby, and he gets a shot off, and that's a few feet wide. But that was quite an opening. I would not be happy if I were a Villa goalkeeper or manager that there was that much real estate happening. Bobby kind of just flashes at the chance, and he's frustrated with himself. But keep the chances coming. Anyway, I was sharing my opinion on the center backs individually. I would like to both commend Nat Phillips on the performance that he's had this season, because I think long term his ability, maybe at best he could be our fifth choice center back going forward. I think that's kind of his level. I more likely would see him probably leaving the club in the next, perhaps at the end of this season or at the end of next. I'm happy to have him around if he wants to be that squad member, and he'd like to be a member of a higher echelon team, but a more bit part role. But I think his level is probably more towards the lower end of the Premier League or even the Championship. So with that said, I think you have to commend him on his performance this season, that he's really performed above his level. He's played out of his skin, if you want to use that expression. Here's a long throw in by Matty Cash and easily dealt with by Bobby Firmino, who heads clear. And Liverpool on the counter attack. Ball a little bit too far out ahead of Mo Salah. And it's a Liverpool throw in on the left-hand side, about even with the 18-yard box. And so, yeah, Phillips has really overperformed, I think. But at the same time, I think you also have to be honest and say that he has been the direct result, the direct cause of, between 2 and 5 goals this season. And not to rag on him, but, against one in particular I can remember is against Brighton. There was a pinball situation in the box, and he went and tried to kick, volley it clear, and he kind of whiffed. It wasn't the easiest situation, but I think a more experienced center back would have dealt with it, or at least gotten a touch on it. But with him whiffing, it falls right to a Brighton player, and then they bundled it in. And that was the winning goal. So that really was not the most graceful moment from Nat Phillips. And listen, I'm not saying that players aren't allowed mistakes, but if you're a center back, you really got to make contact with the ball in the box. There he is, rising up, and winning an aerial duel. That's kind of his specialty. So anyway. Yeah, it's just he's not quite at the required level, but I think again we've got to give him a great big handshake and hug at the end of the season for stepping in and being available with 3 season-ending center back injuries to Matip, Van Dijk, and Gomez, and then Kabak. I think that, and again, I love the positivity. There's been positivity from the Redmen. There's been positivity from Carl Tyer, Thyer, great Liverpool artist. Go check him out on Twitter. And he's a great Liverpool personality as well. And I tend to really like his opinions, but I don't know. It's just there's been a little bit of overwhelming praise for Kabak, and I'm not really sure why. I don't think he's been overtly terrible or pathetic or anything like that. I think he started very slowly in his Liverpool career, which can be allowed. But if you're going to start slowly with any player, whether you're a striker or a center back, you want to see signs of progress or signs of what the type of player they can be. Just for me, Kabak is very. I see a lot of Dejan Lovren in him, meaning over anticipation. He's a big burly center back. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan, and I think he's a little bit slow for pace, and his positioning, which admittedly, in theory, can get better based on familiarity and playing with better players. But I don't know. I just don't see a top quality center back. I don't see him maturing to that level. But I could be wrong. But if I were Michael Edwards or Klopp, I would pass on making him a permanent signing. But enough talk about the summer and the long term. We still have I don't even know, 7 or 8 games left in the season. And so let's focus on the task at hand, one game at a time, as Villa works the ball left and right from their defense, and then just a kind of exacerbated long ball, which did give Trent a bit of trouble. He brought the ball down, but then was under immediate pressure by Watkins, who's occupying the left wing at the moment, and Liverpool give away a foul. Firmino does against Douglas Luiz. Well, I like Douglas Luiz. As soon as I laid my eyes on him, I think that was last season, I really liked the cut of his jib. He's kind of a classy Brazilian defensive midfielder, coming up against another, the best defensive midfielder in the world, Firmino, today. Ball to the back post, and all you see was really white shirts. I'm not really sure how they got so free there, but thank goodness Konsa did not get a chance to put that in the back of the net. Allison was able to make a relatively comfortable save, and still 0-0. But yeah, I'd also like to celebrate having, we're up to 5 people watching. Again, welcome if it's your first time, and please let me know in the comment where you're tuning in from and who you support. Love to get chatting with you. Fabinho just flicks it out or lofts it outside to Salah, and the play breaks down as it falls to, I think it was Jota's feet. And here comes Watkins breaking, and what an interesting spell of play there. Watkins was really getting up the field at breakneck pace. Nat Phillips was able to just keep up with him and make a nice tackle. I personally felt it was a clean tackle, or I should say it was a clean tackle, but sometimes just because the attacker falls down and you kind of go through the player a little bit, which, again, I would like to remind everybody is fair. It's not a foul just because you went through the player a little bit. I mean, shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. Football's a contact sport, so glad to see that the referee didn't blow up for that. And then the ball fell a bit loose to Kabak, and he was under pressure there. Did a nice little sharp cut to get his way out of trouble. A bit risky being the last man, but he was able to buy himself some space. Now Liverpool is on the attack a driven ball in by Trent and Tyrone Mings, who you must say has been rather good. I feel like he always plays well against us. But, I mean, he did make a pretty brutal mistake, which could have and should have led to a Mo Salah goal about 7 minutes ago. But other than that, he has been very good in being in the right place at the right time and clearing balls away. Here is Jota trying to get control of the ball, and he wriggles his way through, and he's definitely fouled there. Again, Jota, and he draws a yellow card against Konsa. But yeah, Jota has been, it's been a battle, I think is the best way to put it with Jota today. Again, I will use the word frustrated. I think he's been frustrated by the Villa players being very physical with him. Here's Trent swinging the ball in, and the ball is headed clear by Villa. And Milner, there we go. That's a very similar type of challenge that I was just referencing. Going through the player a bit, but winning the ball, and I'm completely fine with it not being a foul. But right in the middle of the pitch, Milner is called for a foul. And then he picks up the ball and is kind of running away with it, so his teammates can get back and set up. That's enough. I mean, I have so many just little gripes. I should make a laundry list of all these things of what referees are calling that shouldn't be called and vice versa. I mean, Milner, letter of the law, absolutely should have gotten the yellow card, and I absolutely would have been fine with that had the ref brandish him the yellow, because he picks up the ball and he starts running. When teams trying to take a quick free kick and a player stands in their way, or the player like kicks the ball away, you know, I'm not saying I want to see a yellow card every single time, but referees have gotten so lenient with stuff like that that now it's just accepted, and you know, the law is just blatantly ignored. And we're having an injury break here for Douglas Luiz, who is just sitting on his backside with his legs outstretched. Not really sure what kind of injury this is. I don't know that it's a physical one. He's kind of sitting in a position where it just seems like he got the wind knocked out of him. But he's got two trainers coddling him or getting him. Oh, okay, interesting. We just saw some skin there by the substitute who's about to come on. What's his name? Jacob Ramsey. Can't say I've heard of him or seen him before, but he's going to be coming on for Douglas Luiz. Yeah, that's right. Another reminder. I didn't go through the Villa lineup. Sorry to any Villa fans that are watching along and offended. But no Jack Grealish today. Important to say. He, bit cliche to say, but he is their captain and such a crucial part of their team. I mean, I think it would be stupid to say that Villa are nothing without him. Villa is obviously a competent team, but depending on the day, they do lack bite and kind of spirit about them. Again, I do think that they're set up very well, and you know, this is an evenly matched game. I think if the game ended right here, right now, 27 minutes in, it's really a coin flip on the result. It really could be any of the three possible outcomes. Jack Grealish expected to remain out until the end of April. But yeah, I mean, just a moment to really credit Villa on their season. Dean Smith, I mean, not the sexiest manager, not from a looks perspective. I'm not talking about looks, but not the most Hollywood of managers. I don't think anyone would say, but you really got to hand it to him that he has. I mean, he's really pulled off like a Chris Wilder from last season. Nobody was. I mean, again, I'll just throw in there that Villa shouldn't even be in the Premier League this season due to the VAR debacle, the first game out of the pandemic, where the goal line technology just didn't work. First time in like 10,000 occurrences that it failed. But that's basically the sole reason why Villa is in the league at this point. But certainly had a ton of struggles last season in the relegation battle, and now here they are. I mean, in the first half of the season, they were in the title race, even though that's not a thing in the first half. But yeah, now I don't even know what position they're in. Probably 8th or 9th. Did fall a bit further down, but I mean, Villa is a team that I don't think anybody is necessarily looking forward to playing this season. They've made some really great signings. Dean Smith really has galvanized the team. I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't think that they've made any like drastic signings. I mean, the two major signings that I think that they have made have been, like I said, the goalkeeper, who I will reiterate, maybe unpopular decision or maybe slept on opinion. Maybe people don't do a whole lot of thinking about him. But again, Emiliano Martinez, I think, has really been a great signing for them, permanent signing from Arsenal again. And then Ross Barkley, I haven't really heard his name in recent weeks. He might even be injured, but I remember he was on fire. And again, in the first half of the season, and that's, maybe a player that, he's kind of one of those like João Moutinho, Miguel Veloso, one of these like really hot prospects, went to Chelsea, did absolutely nothing there. And then he really is kind of one of those Renaissance players. Here's Trent standing over the ball, 25 yards. This is Trent territory. Maybe Trent isn't on Trent form, but here it is. Oh! That was pretty close. It was one of those that didn't have, you just needed a bit more dip, but it did land on top of the net. So yeah, if that was maybe 3 feet further out, that probably would have just dipped in under the crossbar. Looks like Martinez actually maybe had it covered. Oh, and they've given a corner. He did get a little touch on his fingers, and there's Jota with an open look. Speaking of Jota, Liverpool Lee, thank you for tuning in. He's watching us on Periscope today. He said, team looks better without Mane. I will categorize that under a bold comment, or is it? I mean, I think it's not, Lee's not the first person to point out that Mane has certainly had his struggles. I think that's undeniable. In the past, 2 to 3 months, he has been super flat. I was actually watching the pre-match with the Red Men, and somebody, just because someone said it doesn't make it real, but somebody was asking, is he having long-term COVID effects? I mean, whether he is or he isn't, one could argue not even our business sort of thing, but, you're never going to get a straight answer on that. But I think the fact remains that that's kind of how it seems. Hence the question sort of thing. Oh, God. Nat Phillips with a very under-hit pass back, and I would say nonchalant pass by Nat Phillips back to Alisson, who is clean-shaven. Well, clean-shaven. He's got stubble, but he got rid of the 70s mustache, which Alisson is just so hot that he can pull off any look that he wants, really. Even if he looks ridiculous, he still looks hot. And here comes Liverpool with Wijnaldum out to Mo Salah, back to Wijnaldum. And Villa are really packing it in here. So, yeah, I don't know. You categorize this as one of those games where Liverpool needs to break down the parked bus. And is this a game for Thiago to come in? Kind of just throwing out there the cliched and often asked for key to unlock the park defense. Yeah, also sound off as well about your opinion on Thiago. If you've been listening, pardon me, a little bite break. Someone remind me whenever the first goal goes in to update the scoreboard. I've been forgetting to do that. But anyway, as I was saying, if you've been listening all game, number one, thank you. But you would have heard me reference my opinion on Kabak, which is really to say that I think I've kind of seen enough of him, and I don't think he's the business per se. And I have to say that I think ditto on Thiago. He could prove me wrong, and if you have a strong opinion, really either way, let me know. I mean, I think the counterpoint to what I'm about to say is that, much like sort of the entire squad, that he hasn't had the ability or the almost like entitlement, kind of a weird word to use, but entitlement of being able to play with Liverpool's first team. And I am the first person to say that Virgil's absence really changes the entire team, because he is that good, and it's like a rubber band effect. Everything's on a string. All the different players on the pitch affect one another, for sure, in a Klopp team, because it is such an inch perfect system. So anyway, I think some people would argue that here's Bobby Firmino on the left-hand side, cuts it back to Salah, who gets a crappy effort off trying to find the top corner. Does one of these, we've all seen it, and he tries to curl it, but he gets too under it, and it goes high and wide, I believe. Yep. And so anyway, yeah, I think my Thiago opinion is he's a beautiful player. I love to watch him, but I just don't think that he fits Liverpool's system. And I think I've seen enough that he won't fit. I mean, I think it's a wonderful thought to have, that he could just plug right into this Liverpool team and be spraying balls and this and that. And listen, what I will admit is that he has shown it against Chelsea and against Everton, but I think that's I just don't know. Liverpool have been so bad for so long, and I would love to say, Lee and I have had this conversation that I would love to say that. Oh, wait a minute, Douglas Luiz is still on the pitch. Maybe he never went off. I thought he got substituted for that. What was it, Wallace or whatever? But anyway, I would love to say that Virgil will come back and then all our problems will be solved, and we'll go back to being 2019, 2020 Liverpool and being almost invincible. But I don't know. I mean, we've been bad for so long that it's really, it begs belief to say that. And Jota cuts inside, gets a pretty tame effort on goal, and Martinez gobbles it up. But anyway, I just think that Thiago, when he is able to have basically a free role and do whatever he wants, he's unbelievable. I defy anybody to say that they don't enjoy watching him. He's on his day, he is the best passer in the world, possibly even better than De Bruyne. Again, just go back to September or whatever that was when we played against Chelsea at the Bridge, I think, and he just was doing whatever he wanted. And that phrase is used, maybe overused at times, but he was just doing whatever he wanted. If he wanted to play the ball over there, he's doing no look passes. He's curling it. He's playing it on the ground. So yeah, he just scintillating to watch. But I think that is when Liverpool's really in its pomp, and we have to really be in a dominant mood and dominant form to do that. And so therefore, he kind of just is a luxury player. And I hate to say that because I think it would be doing him a great disservice to, I'm not comparing him to Ozil, but I think when people say luxury player, that's sort of the type of player that they think about, or like a James or whatever. Like, yeah, they look lovely. They do lovely things on the pitch when they feel like it or when they're able to. But I just think that Liverpool's midfield has been the engine room for so long. Hendo, Milner, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, really just like unsexy non-playmakers. I'm not saying that they don't make plays, but that's not really what you think of when you think of a playmaker. And so I think I just seen so much of Thiago this season that when he needs to do the things that he doesn't really want to do, and I will say he does do them. He doesn't lack effort. He doesn't mope around the pitch. Here's Mo Salah, terrible crossfield ball by Traore, and it fell right to Salah's feet, right in the middle of the pitch. That's almost like a kindergarten mistake where you don't, pass it in the middle. And it fell right to Salah, but Salah couldn't be swift of foot enough to make anything happen here. We've got Dan Davin1 on Twitch saying Liverpool need to spend in the transfer market when it reopens in 3 or 4 months' time. Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with that for sure. I'd be curious. Please let me know what particular players you would like signed. Because I do think sometimes you can say like, oh, we need a center back. And, again, Klopp is very, very picky in the players that he chooses, and he's had an excellent record in the transfer windows. So, yeah, I mean, my buddy Lee always is still to this day bemoaning the fact that we went into the season selling Lovren and only having 3 fit center backs, or 3 available center backs. Here's Bobby and Mo, and such a missed opportunity there. Beautiful opportunity for a give and go, and Bobby just couldn't get the pass right to Salah. Took him a bit out of his path. And here's Wijnaldum on the right-hand side of the box. Plays a beautiful cross in, really dangerous. No Liverpool players were there to bundle it in, but it was one of those that just anybody, any touch, even from a defender, could have been like an own goal type situation. But Martinez grabs that one. Dan says, I'm a Liverpool fan. Aguero will be available as a free agent. Of course, other areas Klopp needs to strengthen. Yeah, I mean, that's a very interesting thing, interesting suggestion in theory. I really don't see it happening. I think he'll go to, oh, God. Watkins gets an inch of room on the top of the box, and he just drills it straight down the middle, and it gets past Alisson. It's 1-0 to the Villains, and let me remember to update the scoreboard here. Yeah, Dan, I think that, again, I like the suggestion. I'm a huge Aguero fan. I think you can make the argument he's the best striker in Premier League history. I personally wouldn't say that. I would say Alan Shearer. And he's got the goals to back it up. But certainly Aguero has been an absolute legend. And I still think that he has a lot to offer. I think Pep is, speaking of being able to do whatever he wants, that City team, despite losing to 10-man Leeds today, bravo to Leeds. He just, isn't playing with a striker, and who knows, they will probably sign Holland, which would be terrifying. Hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, I think he is very happy to play without a number 9. And so anyway, I think Aguero could go to a lot of clubs and sort of pull off like a Luis Suarez, like, oh, you thought I was done, and then just tear it up situation. Actually, Aguero was a Liverpool fan growing up, I believe. But anyway, there's been rumors that maybe Liverpool would be in for Suarez this offseason. I mean, I wouldn't say no to that, just because, and ditto on Aguero, because I think they both still have it, and I think that would be great cover for the front three. Hey, Aaron, is that Feldman? He says Thierry Henry, I think, in terms of the best striker ever. So he is an Arsenal fan, and Thierry Henry is also a person that I would not argue with. Just a beautiful player to watch. But I can come back to that at a later time. So yeah, I think having Suarez or Aguero to come in, again, I don't necessarily see it happening, but I think that would be kind of great cover. They both have this great tenacity and very smart players that I think that they would fit in like a glove in Liverpool. And there are definitely some Bobby haters out there. Even less so, but I'm sure that there are some Sadio haters that I don't think that either of them are washed, but I just think that they need a break, and hopefully they'll come back next season fresh and showing at least signs of really their best. But anyway, I think in terms of the offseason, certainly we need to sign a center back. I don't know. Klopp is a very loyal guy. So I can't really say that I've seen evidence of it. They just showed a replay on that goal from Watkins, and I think people will say that Alisson should have done better with that. It was really like a snatched, good effort, short backlift sort of thing. So Alisson didn't really get to see a whole lot of it, but did come in off of his hand. Here's a ball into Jota, and it evades the defender. It also evades Jota. Still on the ball, cuts it back, and Andy Bravo, and Firmino! Yes! Goal time! Let's go, Liverpool. Level it just before the half. It's 47 minutes in. And I think we can say that it will be level at the break. And I appreciate everybody's comments. Keep them coming. I hope you'll stay with me through the second half. This game is showing a bit more signs of life. And we've got some goals. For a little while, I thought it was going to be a 0-0. And beautiful little cheeky Bobby finish. It was over from the left-hand side of the 6 to him, top of the 6, so he was pretty close in. And he had a defender sort of on the line and the goalkeeper converging on him. And Bobby just gets under it and kind of dinks it into the back of the net. So well done, and good to see Bobby on the score sheet. Here we go. Checking possible offside from VAR. I don't even know what they're showing. They're showing Matty Cash. Oh, they're trying to show if he touched the ball. I mean, even if he touched the ball, it's still a pass to Jota, clearly. So if Jota's off, then it would be off. But anyway, I was saying about the off season that I think certainly we need. No, shut this on. You can see it with a naked eye. They want to draw this up and say he's off. It's absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, stupid VAR. We'll wait to see if this goal stands. But yeah, I would like to see a player, a center back come in. I think Chaleta Char, there's been a lot talked about him. I'll be honest, I haven't seen too much of him, but based on what I've seen, I would prefer him to Kabak. I kind of fear that Liverpool will sign Kabak. I mean, 18 million is the optional fee. So, for God's sakes, offside. The goal is chalked off for a ridiculous call that nobody was complaining about. For God's sakes. Unbelievable. This is, if I ever give up the Premier League, it will be for this. And I don't say that lightly. I have been a lifelong Liverpool fan, lifelong soccer fan, and the value of this product has plummeted in the past 2 years. It's awful. And it's all down to VAR, shitty refereeing, infuriating. Anyway, let me get to the comments. Here, actually, let me enter the comments up on the screen here. No, I don't want to do that. Let's see. Okay. Bear with me. Here we go. So yeah, you got Aaron saying he thinks Thierry Henry. Dan wants to know which Liverpool red home shirts do I have. I think in short, I can just say all of them. I am a big collector of jerseys, and I have pretty much every Liverpool jersey from probably the last 6 years. Home, away, third, all that, and even going back further. I have them from the Warrior days. I have them New Balance. I've got even some Adidas ones. The classic, the Torres, 08, 09 one was probably my favorite Liverpool jersey of all time with the collar. And Torres would always wear the long sleeve with the 3 stripes coming down. Torres is just such a beast. Let me stop the timer. It is halftime, by the way. I don't know if I called that out. Stop. I'll let's do it this way. Maybe 5. Set. All right, cool. So yeah, be my guest if you want to take a halftime break. Please be sure to come back. But I think I'll just stick here and keep chatting with you guys. Lee says this team is depressing. I think that was before the non-goal went in. Anyway, guys, a little plug for all my stuff. Please follow me on any or all of the following at Beaty's Beat, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. Love to interact with you guys, kind of understand where you guys are from, who you like, what kind of content you like to see. So, yeah, get after it. And I'm also on YouTube, but just search Beaty's Beat. I don't have the tag yet. I think I got to get up to 100 subscribers. So find me there and subscribe. And yeah, back to the chat. Lee says Suarez should have happened last offseason. My response to that is hindsight is 2020. I don't think that you can really say that we would have had so many injuries and so many crucial ones. Pardon me, particularly at the back. But Jota went down for a while. I think you do have to say, despite being out of form, and maybe this is why you would say, Lee, that we still need that competition, but we still need to just knock on wood and praise the Lord, as my boy Theo Vaughn would say, PTL. Praise the Lord that the front three have been fit basically their entire Liverpool careers. Because we always say that, if one of them were to go down, we might be screwed, sort of thing. And certainly they haven't been on form. Here's the look at the table. Liverpool, should we lose this match, remain on 49 points, and then just took it away. I am curious about that. So yeah, of course you got City on top. United. City on top with 74, United 60, Leicester 56, West Ham 52, and wait, could that be? If Liverpool win this game, we go level with West Ham on points, but they would have a game in hand. Wow. Yeah, so never mind, is it possible? I'd be curious to see what the betting odds would say about Liverpool finishing in the top four at this point. I think it would actually be pretty likely, because typically they'll give you, they kind of give the favorites a bit of respect in the odds. So yeah, Lee said Suarez should have happened last offseason. I think that's asking for a little bit much in the fact that we signed Jota for competition. You could say that we should have sold Origi, but that's just a Liverpool opinion that everybody sells Origi, but it just never happens. And he can be a game changer. I know he's kind of a bit of a joke at this point, but Divock Origi, Liverpool legend, by the way. Lee wants to know the Giraffe's thoughts on the first half. Looking pretty stoic. I don't think he's pleased. Hasn't changed his facial expression, so I'm going to say unimpressed. Lee with the reiterative comment that the team looks better without Mane. Again, not that I'm out and out disagreeing with you, but that could just be a time and place situation. Could just be dumb luck that we look better today with or without Mane. Dan Davin, one. He says, I am from Banbury, England, near Coventry. Okay, cool. Nice to have a Brit in the chat. Again, I'm from New Jersey in the United States, the Jersey Shore, but not the MTV version of the Jersey Shore, the actual Jersey Shore. So yeah, I've been a Liverpool fan since I was 4, and I'm 29 years old. So there you have it. He also says Luis Garcia was a beast as well, small in height. Yeah, true. I think he's saying that in reference to me talking about Suarez and Aguero, both still having it. Of course, Luis Garcia is in a separate age bracket and retired for quite a long time. But you're saying, just because you're of diminutive stature doesn't mean that you can't make a huge impact, which he certainly did. I have to agree with you there. So yeah, I guess back to the off-season discussion. If I had to take a pick for center back, I would probably at this time say Chale Tachar. Of course, trust in Klopp, trust in Edwards. So if they were to sign anybody, I pretty much kind of think that it's a good move. But yeah, again, I enjoy discussing, the names and really demanding that of people that are demanding a center back signing, and it kind of is just like sign somebody, sign anybody, and it's just like it doesn't work that way. You have to realize that despite you demanding a center back signing, it doesn't work like that. I mean, we are Liverpool. We're the best, coming off being the best club in the world, best team in the world, and very obviously, it's very difficult to walk right into the best team in the world. And then you also just complicate the whole discussion by saying that, okay, well, Virgil and Gomez, I'm saying if you're a player that Liverpool wants to sign, how much am I going to play? Also, Matip out there. I would say sell Matip. Again, that was kind of how I was saying that Klopp is very loyal, and I don't know if he would, kind of have the balls to sell Matip. And Matip, again, might be in that sort of situation where, again, I was never a Lovren fan, but just, kind of hand it to him based on reputation. Are you going to do better than him as a fourth choice center back? Again, I hated his instincts and his decisions and his over anticipation, as I call it, over aggression. But it's really hard to say that you would sign somebody that was as good as him, being willing to come in and be fourth choice. So yeah, I think when you talk about realistic transfer targets, you've got. I think you ultimately end up landing on a young player that isn't quite there, so he'll accept coming in, that boost in prestige, and hopefully he will develop, and in the future, in let's say 3 years time, this player's 21. By the time he's 24, that means Matip is 33 or whoever, and then you get more opportunities and you kind of develop and get the playing time you deserve as you develop. So I think that's fair to say, and I think Chaleta Char would probably, or somebody like that profile, would be somebody that would sort of fit that bill. Some other popular names to throw out. Of course, there's always Koulibaly. Everyone's always going to say him. I think he's overrated. I do think he is a very good center back, but I actually have seen him kind of done up more so than his reputation would suggest. Upamecano, of course, signed for Bayern, but he was always thrown in there. He's also in that, just, I don't know, maybe I have just this thing against big, like, broad-chested center backs. I don't know why, but I don't know. To me, it just seems old school. Virgil is obviously a big dude, but he is, like, proportionate. Now I'm getting into describing male bodies, but Kabak is just very top-heavy to me, and I think he is slow. Upamecano and Koulibaly are both very athletic. They make a lot of slide tackles. But that's one thing you don't really see Virgil doing. Virgil doesn't really, he'll slide tackle like when necessary, but you don't really see it very often because, I mean, he's a beast. He is the Rolls Royce of center backs. Might be cliche, but it's totally true. I mean, he has absolutely everything you need in a center back. He's fast, he's calm, he can pass the ball, his communication is excellent. And that's, why he should have won Ballon d'Or in 2018, but he was robbed. Conversation for another day. But in any case, yeah, I mean, again, you go back to Koulibaly, fine. If you want to sign him, is he going to start every single game? Can we afford him? That's another question. So I think that there's a lot of things when, Liverpool fans will demand, but they aren't realistic or it's short-sighted. People were thrilled that we signed Ben Davies, then in the time since we've signed him, do we even know that he's a real person? That whole joke that, he's never available, he's never used. Obviously, he's coming from the second division. So, sometimes, or I should say a lot of times, just signing anybody isn't the answer. as much as fans might clamor for it. So yeah, I think center back is definitely a huge thing. So how many center backs would you want to go into next season with? Lee, I would like your answer on that because, again, you're somebody that thought it was ridiculous to go into this season with just Gomez, Matip, and Virgil. Obviously, Gomez and Matip being injury prone. I would still say hindsight is 2020 there. Yes, they're injury prone, but usually it's like Matip goes out and then Gomez fills in, and there's sort of a balance. And it is a very convenient balance because then, if everybody's fit all the time, then players get disgruntled because they're not playing as often as they would like. So anyway, I think, how many center backs do we go into next season with? I think I would be happy with 5, including like a Nat Phillips type. I don't know. I mean, again, I haven't seen Ben Davies, so I can't really comment. I mean, can we assume that if Nat Phillips wants to go, then we have Ben Davies, that's fine. But yeah, you have Virgil and Gomez probably as the 2 starters for next season. Again, I would throw out there Chale Tachar, Matip, who injury prone. Lee, are you happy with Matip being a 4th choice center back? Of course, we signed Tsimikas. We've barely ever seen him. Does that mean that, he sort of is falling into a Minamino category, that we signed this fella and then realize that he's not good enough? Not sure. So, I mean, you could even argue that, we signed him, but if he's not good enough, then you need to replace him to then have cover at left back. How much more mileage are we going to get out of Milner? Wijnaldum looks like he's going to leave. Ox, how much do you factor him in? He's never reliable, so I think you kind of just factor him out. I would love to see my boy Curtis Jones really step in and have a major role next season because I think his playing style will really be something to take us to the next level. And we're back from commercial break, and Mo Salah kicks us off. And let's see if I can get this going here right on time. Perfect. Okay. We're into the second half. What am I doing here? There we go. Oops. And we dropped down to 2 watching us in the second half. Hopefully everyone's taking a bathroom break, a beer break, coffee break, whatever, and come on back. Tyrone Mings picking up right where he left off in the first half by kind of being everywhere and putting the ball out of play. Liverpool reload, Kabak to Phillips. Phillips chips it forward to Trent. Little give and go with Salah. And that's kind of been our MO for the game today, unfortunately, is can't make simple give and goes, and the ball goes out of play. So Lee has texted me and said, not to be dramatic, but I am done watching Premier League until next season. Officially done. They have to get rid of VAR. I hope that even if you decide to stop watching, that you'll continue watching Beaty's Beat. But yeah, no, I totally get you. And it's, listen, I've said the same thing. I said it right in the first half. It is destroying the game. And you can think that that's hyperbolic. I don't really speak in hyperbole. In fact, it's one of my pet peeves. I think people don't know how to use language properly, so they speak in sensational language, and that dilutes their vocabulary. But anyway, oh, beautiful ball in by Andy Robbo, and it looked like Salah. We were all praying that he would be on the end of it, but again, Emiliano Martinez putting in a fine performance today, and gobbles that one up again. I have said that quite a few times today. It's a beautiful day here in New Jersey. It's about 60 degrees, so I'm kind of opening up the doors and the windows, and hopefully Liverpool win. But we're struggling. But yeah, Lee, I'm with you. VAR is destroying the game. I wish that, and I'm frankly sort of surprised, but also not surprised that there hasn't been a petition to get rid of VAR, because I truly think that there are enough people out there, and I do think that would actually work. If you get 2 million signatures saying end VAR, all this. I mean, I think fans really need to vote with their wallets, and if enough people actually sort of went on strike and following football, I know, you might think like, oh, you're American, you don't get it. In England, people just can't do that. But, you've seen it on some levels. Newcastle fans giving up their season tickets, has it had an effect? I don't know, probably not. But I do think that if enough fans are just up in arms about the erosion in quality of the product, that FIFA will have to do something about it, even though they are very corrupt. They are corrupt because they want money. And if fans don't tune into the product because it's being destroyed, then they're going to have to change something. So anyway, it's a damn shame, because I've spent my whole life being a soccer fan and it being unpopular. Not that I really cared about that, but kind of always telling an American fan that if they don't get it, I feel sorry for them, because it's the best soap opera, the best entertainment out there is world football, and I'm souring on it. It's terrible. It's the standard of refereeing, the standard of media coverage, standard of VAR is pathetic. Standard of football has been pathetic too. Here's a bold opinion, and some of my buddies that are non-Liverpool fans will think it is jealousy or Liverpool tinted glasses in saying this. And almost a goal from Mo Salah. A little bit of ping pong in the box, and it falls to Salah. Gets an effort that probably would have been on goal, I think. But it should be should be a corner here, taken short to Milner. What is with these short corners? Milner passes to Wijnaldum, back out to Trent, and here comes another corner. So reset and reload, and probably the same nonsense from Liverpool. To be expected. But anyway, yeah, I think the quality of world football is terrible right now. Here's Trent with the cross, and it falls to who else but Emiliano Martinez. He and Tyrone Mings have been everywhere today. So yeah, if Real Madrid should go through, where's my calendar? If Real Madrid goes through to the Champions League semifinals, Liverpool can come back. Don't mistake me for a second and say that I think Liverpool is out of it or Real Madrid will go through. I'm saying if they go through, that makes Real Madrid a top 4 team in the world. Just think about that. This Real Madrid team is not good. You can see that in La Liga, which is a weak league currently, with Barca and Real Madrid both very poor. And they're not even topping that. And then all you have to do is look at their team. They've got, here's Thiago and Sadio warming up in the 52nd minute. You look at Real Madrid's team. This is a team that Liverpool should be beating, despite being inconsistent. But players like Vinicius, I know he just kind of lit us up, but it was gifted to him. He didn't light us up. Modric and Cruz are both getting old. And just Nacho and Eder Militao. I mean, this is not a team. Nobody in their right mind can tell me that is a good team. And if that's one of the top 4 teams in the world, I mean, sure, you want to say Man City, PSG, Bayern, fine. They've all been very inconsistent, actually. If you want to say those are the best teams in the world currently, you really just can't convince me that the quality of football is any good right now. I mean, even Man United, I know they're not in the Champions League, but they're second in the Premier League, miles off it, which, as they should. I mean, City has been unbelievable at times this season, and pretty consistently so, but Man United is not a great team. I said that. Go look at my Twitter. I said that early and often when all the call-in shows like the 606 and everything, everyone was saying, "Oh, can United do it?" You look at their team; they don't have the leaders for that. Ole's Gunnar Solskjaer will never win a Premier League as manager. I can tell you that. So anyway, it's a shame that the quality of football is suffering. I think the best and really only thing we can do is kind of try to rush through this season, maybe pick up other hobbies, go play tennis for the next 3 months, and then wait until next season. And hopefully Liverpool are playing in some nice kits next season. It looks like there's going to be lightning bolts all over our kit. Let me know what you think about that. Personally, not a huge fan, but it looks like it's going to go that way. I mean, even the away kits, if you've seen them, it's a blatant ripoff from the 70s kit from the Kenny era. And I get it, nostalgia sells, but I think when you go retro, you kind of have to be like clever about it. You sort of need to modernize it. To me, it's just like it's a blatant ripoff of that jersey. Oh, corner for Liverpool. Nat Phillips looked like he was going to be the one to win it, but Villa cleared the ball, looping ball out of the box, and Mo Salah just took it first time on the volley and caught it really nicely, but couldn't make it through a crowd. But if that was on goal, that would have been a beauty. Oh, my goodness. I've lost. I missed a goal. Deeply sorry. Oh, and it's a beauty. Nice little counterattack. Kind of typical Liverpool counter. Ball kind of starts in the middle, goes out wide to Robbo, who takes a nice shot on goal. It is palmed by Martinez, and kind of a classic Salah finish, too, in that the ball is just kind of hanging up in the air for a second, and he kind of leaps and very cutely heads the ball into the back of the net. So it's 1-1. Come on, Liverpool. Big opportunity to jump into the top 4, even if it's just temporarily. Let's get it. Dan Davenport, thank you for the follow. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Lee, I will ask you, does that last goal, leveling it up, change your mood at all, or change your opinion on not watching the Premier League anymore? A little bit of a tongue-in-cheek question, but that's sort of a real thing too. You know, VAR can be ruining the sport, and Liverpool, in theory, could be winning all at the same time. And so can you sort of turn a blind eye to football being quote-unquote ruined if Liverpool keep racking up wins? Never said that we were unbiased. No, I actually think that I am unbiased, but I'm always told that I'm not. "58 minutes into the match." Liverpool with the ball on the right-hand side, and gets a little loose with it, and Mings clears it upfield. Lee, hope he doesn't mind. I'm sure he won't. Me reading out his text to me, just on the subject of VAR ruining the sport. "I'm a consumer, a fan, and you are actively making me not want to consume your product. Job accomplished." Yeah, no, it's exactly how I feel. I mean, if you're running a business and you sell bananas or toy trucks or something, and I've been buying your product for years. They always say, Michael Scott, it reminds me of The Office. Michael Scott, when Ryan's going to business school, he asks, "Is it more expensive to obtain a new customer or an existing customer?" And then Michael says, "It's a trick question. They're the same." And then Ryan says, "It is 10 times more expensive to obtain a new customer." Yeah, it's exactly that. Lee and I have been watching Premier League all of our lives. For a great period of that time, it's been the best league in the world. It probably still is the best league in the world. But in terms of product, it's suffering terribly with the introduction of VAR. And let me know your, I'm off screen now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about VAR. Some will argue that either it can be used well, and we should keep it. Just look at other leagues like MLS and Bundesliga or whatever, which I disagree. Oh my goodness! Wow, Villa come very close to going back into the lead. But they hit the post, and then Allison did one of these to react, and so he's out of position. And then allowed Trezeguet to get a diving header, and he couldn't get it on target despite being 3 yards out because he was at this acute angle and also off balance and diving header, all that. So yeah, Liverpool dodged a bullet there. I'm not sure if there would have been any VAR implications there, but they don't have to look at it because nothing resulted from it. Here's Ross Barkley. So turns out that he's not injured. He just hasn't been selected. Maybe he's cooled off a bit from the first half of the season. As I was saying, he was one of their really smart signings, albeit on loan. But yeah, Lee, to finish his "See you in August, FA. You have sucked any joy I get from this game." Hard to argue. But let's try to ignore that for the benefit of the stream. And let's see what Liverpool can do in the last 27 minutes here, 27 minutes plus. Fabinho still. One of the few bright sparks out of this season has been my love just growing for Fabinho because, again, it's true, all Liverpool fans demanding that Fabinho play in his true position of defensive mid for the rest of the season. I agree. Once the Liverpool season was gone, per se, you just got to play players in the right positions. But still, I mean, Fabinho has just performed masterfully all season, whether at center back or defensive mid. A lot of people I think will have missed that just because him playing out of position really, he performed excellently individually wherever he's played, but obviously his absence in midfield has been very gravely felt. But anyway, my love for him has grown. I really think that he's the most intelligent player in the world. Just the fact that, he went in at center back, and again, I don't think a lot of people will agree with me because of Liverpool's sort of fate at the time. We weren't really getting a whole lot of great results, but I think he's a top 5 center back in the world, and he's not even a center back. He, to me, is the best defensive midfielder in the world, and you can just see he is so intelligent, and I think it goes rather unnoticed because I think that he's a very awkward player to watch. He's gangly, but his tackling is unbelievable. That in order to time his tackles that well, you need to be really intelligent. In order to see the field, you need to be really intelligent. In order to position yourself properly, regardless of what position you're playing, never mind one position, but 2 positions, he performed extremely well. So yeah, he's been a beast. But yeah, other players I think are very interesting topics of conversation as well, in that what's happened? What has happened to Trent? And I think I sort of touched on that earlier with you take Virgil out of the team, it becomes a very different team. So maybe he has to pick up more slack, or he can't be as trusting with some of the other players because they can't handle as much of the responsibility. So maybe Trent can't be as free. Maybe that causes a little bit of anxiety. Maybe there's more anxious decision making. And surely, he's a human being. sometimes we forget they're human beings. He's going to have confidence crises at times, and it's unfortunate, and he's not going to have as good of games. The same as can be said of Robertson as well. But all eyes love to be on Trent, whether he's performing well or not, because he's a Scouser. He's on his game, he's one of the best playmakers in the world, even though he's a right back. And so anyway, when his form plummets, as it has this season at times, then people love to jump on it. And of course, it doesn't help that Southgate dropped him from England. My opinion on that, a lot of people ask me about that. I mean, do I take it personally? Yeah, I'd probably be lying if I told you it didn't. It doesn't feel just. But all in all, do I care? No. I mean, screw England if they're not going to pick him. I think I think Southgate, in doing that, knows that he's making a huge statement. And if he wants to make a huge statement, that's his prerogative. But I think sometimes managers like that, they do things to, like a Lampard or like a Solskjaer would do things like that to kind of show like, hey, look at me, I might be, the PE teacher, but, look at what I just did. I'm not afraid to make a bold decision. But, it's stupid because I think it hurts England. Just looking at it as a Liverpool perspective, in a way, it's a good thing. I mean, you might say like, oh, it hurts Trent's prestige or Liverpool's prestige because, we don't have any Liverpool players in the England team or whatever. But, well, Wijnaldum just juked Mings onto the floor and almost broke his own wrist. But that'll be Wijnaldum's last action of the game as Thiago comes on for him. 69 minutes gone. And let's see if Liverpool can pull it out. Was it two seasons ago? Or no, was it last season? I don't know. It's been so long. Pandemic screws everything up in terms of memory. But, of course, Liverpool getting that winner at the death at Villa Park. So Liverpool is no stranger to late winners. Hopefully we can pull one out. We've got 20-plus minutes to do so. And see, something like that. Trent is on the sideline. He goes to keep the ball in and do like a little volley down the line. And Trezeguet blocks the volley. Kind of a nothing thing happened. The ball goes out to play. And then Trezeguet bumps kind of goes out of his way and bumps Trent. If the situation was reversed, I bet you that Trent either gets a yellow card or at least gets a talking to because he's Trent and he's this boisterous guy and he's got a chip on his shoulder. And, listen, at times I think Trent takes it a little bit too far. Like the ego, if you will, or the brazenness of, being a Scouser, which, we're inclined to love. And I think it becomes a distraction at times. Maybe he's talking a little bit too much shit. But I mean, that was just a little minor episode where I think, oh, it's a Villa player. So, he doesn't have he's not as big of a celebrity. He doesn't have the ego. So he can, push Trent and he doesn't get sort of judged for doing that and gets away with it. But, that very easily could have incited Trent and, Trezeguet gets nothing for it. There's Mane getting some instructions from Pep Linders before he's about to come on. And Sadio, I mean, this is just pure speculation, probably not even worth saying, but he was wearing a mask. Obviously these players are getting tested and everything, and maybe it was just sort of for looks, but obviously players are like warming up on the sidelines, not wearing masks. But as he went to go put his shin guards on, he was wearing one. So, some sort of conspiracy theory people, as we talked about in the first half with maybe Sadio having long-term COVID effects. Maybe there's a little bit of credence to that with him. If he did just either recontract COVID or being very sensitive to the issue. He was wearing a mask and Pep Linders wasn't. I don't think Klopp wears a mask on the sidelines anymore. So interesting. But anyway, Liverpool will get a foul right on the corner of the 18 on the right-hand side of the field. Robbo's standing over it. I believe Trent is kind of floating in this look at me distraction area on the right-hand side. But it does get played in, and I don't know. Ross Barkley was on the top of the box. That's surely going to be a foul and a yellow. Yep. Robbo went sliding in. Kind of one of those to kill the counterattack. He doesn't get anywhere near the ball there. So rightfully a yellow. But anyway, Barkley was going to clear the ball on a swivel volley, and he entirely sliced it, and it kind of just like spun on itself real quick. And as he turned, I thought it might have hit his hand, and if so, that would have been possibly a penalty. Here comes Sadio Mane for, let me guess, for Firmino. Okay, so again, we've got 15 minutes left. And I don't know, Liverpool haven't really been making it happen in the last little spell of play, so we'll need some inspiration if we're going to get that winner. Nat Phillips, of course, wins the header, and Liverpool trying to break, but the outlet ball just has been very not on a string, shall we say. They always say like Messi or players with real close control has the ball on a string, but it's been quite the opposite for Liverpool today. A lot of sloppy little passes and touches, which definitely can make a difference. I mean, if you don't have that sloppy touch, then that can go straight down the field. And Tyrone Mings with a karate kick clearance volley, very Mings-esque, as he continues to kind of be everywhere. Trent on the ball to Salah, Fabinho, back to Trent. Trent to Sadio's check-in. Not really a whole lot of action going on, but for these little 8-yard passes. Reload, Thiago back to Kabak to Phillips, and back down again on the right-hand side. Thiago wins the ball, and again, these short little passes are just giving the ball away in our own half of the field. Watkins slipping through Trezeguet, and Trezeguet dribbles. That was an awkward one. Trent sort of losing his balance, sort of like just so happened to clatter into Trezeguet. No one's thinking that it was a penalty, but Trezeguet didn't go down, but kind of pushed Trezeguet a bit from the back, right in the part of the field where he didn't have any more room, and it's a Liverpool goal kick. Now Trezeguet is down, and he's sort of skipping gingerly, and he's wailing around on the ground, and he grabs Allison on the shin. That was very strange. Allison kind of just removed Trezeguet's hand from his own shin. Let me get a scissor. Hands are. Trezeguet is still on the floor, shooting up quite a bit of time. Only going to get tacked on. I mean, it did look like an awkward one. I would tend to believe that he's time wasting, but never know. They have removed Trezeguet from the pitch, and play is underway. Firmino bringing the ball up out of the back. So I don't believe Trezeguet was substituted. He just went off the pitch, and now he is laying back down on the floor. Liverpool players very frustrated with this. Just get him off the pitch. Come on. What is happening? He's in agony on the floor. And here comes this number 41 again, who almost came on earlier for Douglas Luiz. And, I mean, there's got to be at least 5 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the game here. I would say it should really be probably like 6. But yeah, the weird little thing where Tyrone Mings was coming up on the left-hand side of the field, running out of room on the sideline, and the ball was just kind of skipping out of play as Thiago was about to challenge him. And it would have been, or it will be, a Liverpool throw-in, but Mings was gesturing as if he let the ball go out because of the Trezeguet injury, which Thiago was not really buying. So we'll see if Liverpool actually gives the ball back. I don't think we should, which may anger the Villa players, and he's crying now. So yeah, this might be a legit injury, but still, you got to get him off the pitch. Yeah, he's crying. So that's probably a nasty injury. I mean, like I said, it was a quite an awkward one where I think it was one of those where his leg wasn't really in a position, when like to take a step, and then your whole body weight goes down on it, and yeah, it probably wasn't the best in terms of weight on the knee ligament. Liverpool get the game back going. And it's down left side of the pitch with Jota running out of room and crossing it, easily collected by the goalkeeper. Ball fizzed up for Villa, but Firmino gets a shoulder on it, deflects it, falls right to Trent, and brings it upfield. Gets back to Fabinho now. Mane out to Salah. Liverpool in the box here. And Sadio goes to take somebody on and runs out of room, and it's a goal kick. And here's Mings wincing on the ad board. And Villa really seem to be milking these minutes. I wonder what Liverpool fans will think of a draw here. I mean, of course, I think the obvious takeaway will be the complaint that the VAR goal should have stood, and then it turns into a 2-1 game, and we win the game, which I think is valid. But, in isolation, a draw really is a game that we should be and need to be winning, but need is a very funny word. Must win gets thrown around a lot, but obviously we're not mathematically out of it. It's just it'll be a little bit of a stuttering bit of momentum, but still not in the worst position. I mean, 2 points back. I suppose that could be 5 points back if West Ham win their game in hand. I'm not sure who they're playing this weekend, but Dejan Sherbanowski. Hopefully I'm saying that right. He says, hello, double smiley face. How's it going, Dejan? He says P-O-Z-Z. Not sure what that means. But where are you tuning in from? And are you a Liverpool fan? What's going on? What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I mean, Liverpool, I think, has the most kind run-in terms of games left. I guess there'll be 7 games left after this one. And West Ham, I've said kind of all along, can you trust West Ham to really stay in it? I mean, they're still on form, and they just beat, I think it was Wolves on Monday pretty handily, so I keep expecting them to fall off, but they just won't. So they'll be there. Of course, Chelsea and Leicester. I mean, I do think Leicester can fall off, even though they're in a pretty good position, but they have history of botching a lead, per se, or a league position. Villa flopping, and Ramsey on the floor. 86 minutes. Shaqiri looks like he's about to come on. Shaqiri. Ball into the middle towards Barkley, but it puts him a bit off balance. He heads it, kind of goes into space, and Villa now have the ball. Ball played upfield, and Allison gets to it first, but he didn't have enough time from the onrushing Watkins to bring it back into his box, so he puts it out of touch for a throw-in. And Villa have the ball here. Liverpool really need to get it back in order to have time to launch a few more attacks, which hopefully will result in our winning goal. Thiago looking a bit sloppy, sliding to get a ball, but he puts it out of field, out of touch for a throw in. Shaqiri is coming on for Kabak. Interesting. So I think that's the second game in a row that Kabak has been substituted. I'm not really sure what's going on there. I have to think that there's some sort of like fitness issue, or maybe even a performance issue that Klopp is seeing something he's not happy with, as opposed to, like just being a pure tactical switch. I mean, that said, we are sort of chasing the game. I suppose Firmino can go back to being a center back, and then kind of push people more upfield. Shaqiri is occupying the right wing currently. Ball with Allison to Thiago. They're playing a bit of keep away right now. He plays to Milner up the field. Shaqiri in 10 plays it to Salah, and Salah's touch lets him down. And Villa come away with the ball. So frustrating. Again, it's Liverpool just really sucking the air and enthusiasm out of their fans with this performance. You can't really say like, oh, Liverpool deserved to get this win. I think a draw actually is a fair result, because Liverpool really have failed to put a stamp on this game. Thiago with a no-look swung ball to Robertson to get us down the left side, back into the middle with Milner. Milner finds Trent really centrally, and he gets it up to Salah. Trent continuing on the diagonal left run. Oh, and there was a floated ball. Mane, if he just got more of a header on that, I think that would have been a goal. Thiago, little dangle on the top of the box. Oh, Thiago with a left-footed volley. Oh, and it's Trent. What a hit! What a hit, and there it is. Let's go. Trent, there it is. What a beautiful winner. Let's go, baby. Have a bit of that. Yeah. Good for Trent. You got to love that. This is a beautiful little spell of play. This is what we've been missing all game. Thiago does a little bit of dancing coming into the box. There's a player right in front of him. Outside of the foot touch to Shaqiri, who plays it back in. Thiago makes a really smart run to the near post. Left-footed shot. Nice save by Emiliano Martinez, who had a great game. Ball falls to Trent, who's on the left side of the field. Beautiful little ball squirting out to him. Top of the box. He lines up. You know what he's going to do. Put it on his right foot and bend it in. Far post. Oh, it's a beauty. It's a beauty. Yeah. 2-1. Update the scoreboard. 5 minutes of stoppage time. We're a minute and a half into that. Liverpool, please hold on to this. This is making my day. This is what football can do. I want to hear from Liverpool Lee. Again, as I asked, does Liverpool winning help you get over the VAR madness that the erosion in quality of the product, as I was saying, but no time for that now. That was a beautiful moment, beautiful goal. And Trent really can use that mentally and momentum-wise. Oh, that was such a beautiful goal. Wow. And that's really given me my first Beaty's Beat watch-along moment. I haven't really had. I've always picked games that we've lost or not done so well in, so that felt good. That was a nice celebration. Maybe I'll have to clip that and throw it up on YouTube. Allison just gets rid, and there's 2 minutes. Villa are up into Liverpool territory, and Liverpool need to do all to to hang on here. Salah tracking back on defense, volleys it upfield. Villa's got it back. They're in Liverpool's half. Come down the right-hand side. Here's Ramsey, comes in middle to Barkley, drops it all the way deep, I think to Konsa. Mo Salah again on defensive duties, getting clear, not enough. Villa plays it back in. Bravo, deep ball out for a throw-in. And Villa are going to take their throw-in about 15 yards, a little gratuitously further up the pitch than the ball went out. But back in play, and Sadio is in the 9 role, putting a little bit of, not really pressure, but just facing up to the Villa players. And here's a cross in. It was a little bit scary because you saw El Ghazi was rising. He was always going to make contact and win that cross. But it's one of those where he completely missed. I think he might have just shouldered that. And I did get a header, and Allison did do one of these and threw a haymaker in frustration with his back line. Doesn't want any Villa. Oh, here's Klopp G'ing himself up. Let's go. Oh, it's been so long since Liverpool's made me feel this way. But I'm reveling in it. And Klopp's got the smirk on his face as he's barking out some orders. I think Klopp got new glasses. It's a great day. Great day. Great day to start the weekend again here in New Jersey. It's 11:56 a.m. Aloha to all of our British viewers. I guess settling into the evening. But any way you slice it, this is a great result for Liverpool. And Shaqiri finds Mane up on the break. Please, Mane. Oh, Mane goes a little selfish. He maybe should have. There it is, full time. Let's go. Let's go, Reds, and show that Premier League table. Let's go. Let's see it. I want to see us. Not sure how the goal difference lines up. It may still be West Ham in 4th place, or it might be us. Oh, we are in 4th place. There it is, 52 points. Again, West Ham have a game in hand. Let's see who they play. Hey, Google, who does West Ham play? Hey, Google, who does West Ham play?
West Ham United will play Leicester City tomorrow at 9:05 a.m.
That's a good one. I might have to stream that one with you guys. A watch along. That's going to be an important one. But anyway, enjoy your Saturday. Fellas and ladies, thank you for tuning in. And up the mighty Reds. Cheers.